Andre, you lose your goalkeeper in the warm-up, you're 1-0 down to an own goal 5 minutes in, and then your leading goal scorer goes off after 12 minutes. So character to get a point must be incredibly pleasing for you.
Really pleasing. I think that's a great point. I have to say, Weymouth, I think they'll go well this year. I think they're a decent side. The disappointment for us at half-time was I felt as if physically we were down. We got bumped. They looked sharper and quicker than us. A little bit more energy. And they're the basics really that you require from your own team and your own players. So I had to get into the players a little bit at half-time because I felt as if they needed a lift. And I spoke for nearly the whole of the half-time and tried to really galvanise them and get them going as such. But credit to them again, they come out second half. I have to tweak it and change the shape again. I went back to a back three, opposite last Saturday. But I've had to go back to a back three because I felt as if Tyler needed some help at the top. And once we got in their faces and pressed at the top, they found it difficult against us. And in the end, I think it's a very, very good point on the road. I think it's probably a fair result as well. I'm a bit disappointed with the goal. I have to sit back, but I think Alex is possibly getting fouled when it's come off him, get him dragged down. So that's a little bit disappointing. But again, Tyler Harvey never looked like he's going to miss. Once he put it down for the penalty, it's a fantastic penalty with real conviction. And maybe on another day could have nicked it as well. One's falling for Manny there, where he maybe should have scored. But no, we'll take this point all day long.
We go back to pre-match. I interviewed you around 6:30. There was no mention of Ryan Clark then. So whenabouts did he get injured, and what did you make of Harvey whilst Richards having to stand in at the last minute?
Well, firstly, Ryan, he'd had a shower at home. He got out of the shower and turned his ankle 10 minutes before he left. So he didn't know how that was going to react. He got to the game and obviously it's swollen up. We've strapped him up and he's tried to come out. The minute he's tried to run, there's no way he could cope with it. So we've had to make the change. And I have to say, Harvey's done terrific. He's played in that game in the FA Trophy for us, but this is different. You come away to Weymouth in front of a big crowd. Second half having to, have the big crowd in behind him as well and deal with that. I thought first and foremost he's dealt with it very, very well, and he's put in a really good performance. So I'm really pleased for him because he's had to hang around and be number two and train, but he does. He trains ever so well, helps us out, and I'm really pleased for him. But I'm pleased for the whole team. Have had to make some changes, and I've left out Harry tonight as well. But we're going to need them all, that's for sure. But probably the character is the right word, the determination, character from the players second half. And then when we started moving the ball again, it looked like us. And like I said, I think Weymouth will go really well. But we want to stay unbeaten if we can. That keeps our momentum running. We go to Welling now in full of confidence. Of course, we have to look at the wounded because Ross has gone off and he looks like it's a nasty cut. So we'll address it and see where the players are on Thursday night in training and come up with a game plan for Welling.
You mentioned earlier that you spoke for pretty much the whole of the half-time. Is that commonplace, or what were the main messages really?
No, it wasn't. Jim said it was like a Braveheart speech, so he was waiting for me to pull out a sword at some point. It just came from within me. I just felt as if I needed to really rally the troops. It was a little bit emotional. It was with raised voices, but it was always very constructive. And I felt like I was ready for the second half. And hopefully that rubbed off on the players. At the end of the day, I can say whatever I want to say, but it's down to them. They come across this white line, and they're the ones who have to carry it out. They're on the football field. And if I played a small part in helping them on that, it wasn't tactical. The only tactical thing was actually the change of shape. We spoke about that briefly, but it was, as I said, I tried to really rally them and tell them to get themselves in a game. And what was said in there will stay in there. No swearing. It was all constructive stuff, but certainly from the heart.
So Welling on Saturday, they picked up a useful 4 points out of 6 so far against two teams relegated from last season. Think any of the walking wounded will be back in time for that tricky-looking game?
I really don't know, Mark. We're trying to keep them training. They come away with us. They're all here tonight, so they've all trained and had some treatment with Steve and with Toby. So all we can do is address it. I'm trying to bring one more in before the weekend if I can on loan. So we'll see if I can get that one over the line. But yeah, we'll just see. I mean, you look at the stand and you've got Ryan Brunt, Jack Batten, Danny Ball, Frankie Artis and Ryan Clark. That's our mainstay from last season. So that tells you a lot. So full credit to these boys. They're a new bunch, but they're putting everything into it. And they want to win. They want to win. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have come out and put in a performance like that second half. So lastly, thanks to the travelling fans. Really appreciate their efforts of coming down here on a Tuesday night. It's not easy on a Tuesday night. Hopefully they've enjoyed the game. We went across and thanked them. They looked like they did. So, no, thanks to the fans, and we'll see them all at Welling.